Dad Mod's Media Machine presents the Brews with the Dudes podcast.
I do think that you're onto something. That's probably the most plausible way that a jet ski would drop. You drop a jet ski.
Yeah, the only other way I could think of is if you like hit something and sink it in the lake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of two
Okay.
options.
So yeah, would that be considered drop it or sink it?
I guess that'd be a sink it.
Yeah. So the song would have to be different. It'd have to be back up. Or what is it? Stop.
Stop, girl. Let me see them hips swing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So drop it like a. What does he say?
Drop. I just had me.
Wow.
I'm sorry. My mind's a piece of shit tonight because I've had 10,000 things going on this week.
Yeah, maybe the viewers can help plug the rest of that in. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Brews with the Dudes podcast. I am Jake Lindquist.
I'm Donnie Allen.
And I am very happy tonight. Boys and girls, the Ford started.
Yes, and not on fire. Like it just started.
Didn't you say it belched a little bit of flame out
It
the
did.
intake though?
We tried cranking it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And one times it did burp a little fire, but nothing,
that's
nothing
wild.
bad.
Nothing bad. Just a little bit of flame coming out of the the intake.
It happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I got to dig into it quite a bit and figure out why it's not staying running. But it's, I mean, it ran for us for probably like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
you know, 10 seconds.
The whole not staying running. I mean, we discussed it. There could be a couple of things. The exhaust isn't finished up. There's no coolant, alternator, all sorts of stuff that.
I don't even have a throttle cable hooked up, so I can't feather the throttle to try and keep it going.
Exactly.
Like,
There's a couple of things that could be.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And the fact the intake was hand tight.
Well, that's the funny thing. Yeah, the intake wasn't completely, or the Sniper EFI wasn't completely bolted down. It was pretty loose. And the funny thing is, it ran like that.
Yeah, that could be it too. Is it could have tried to start calibrate like, oh, I have all this air, like I need to calibrate for that.
God, that's
and
a
that's
good
why
point.
it's dumping so much fuel.
Yeah, so I should probably go back through the little calibration wizard and
start
reset
over.
everything up. Yeah.
Because after we
it.
tightened it down, it didn't really want to run again.
That's true. So yeah,
It might have tried to calibrate for a shit ton of air.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, good point. I'm gonna have to go back through that process. Yeah, but I mean, hey, it's actually started. That's wild.
It made noises.
Yeah, it made a lot of noise. And right now, like the wideband O2 sensor, which is like half of what the ECU uses to regulate. Well, I should say it's probably even more than half of that, because obviously, like, you've got to watch coolant temperature, you got to watch engine speed, stuff like that. But I mean, ultimately, the AFRs is probably the most important factor.
Yeah, probably.
And there's about that much pipe after the the O2 sensor, so it's reading a lot of fresh air. Yeah, which is funny because you'd think that it wouldn't be seeing fresh air because exhaust speed is coming out so fast.
You would think, but
I mean, those pulses, there might be enough of a pause between it that it's reading a lot of oxygen.
Very well
and so
could
that's
be.
why it's just pouring the gas in.
So we need our 15 soup cans and some hose clamps.
I'll just pick up that that disgusting, like, flexible line that you can get from O'Reilly's. We'll just clamp that on.
Just let it dangle there.
It's not the worst idea.
Yeah.
It would at least get it running.
Yeah, it would get you in the right direction.
Yeah, or I could just, pick up a 45-degree bend and start welding up some exhausts, because I only need exhaust on the one side.
Yeah.
The other side, it doesn't have an O2 sensor on it. Obviously, I'll build the exhaust for that side.
Yeah, but just to get it running,
just to
you
have
can
it
do the
running.
one side.
Yeah, but so anyway, I mean, the most important thing was just like all I wanted for tonight was to just hear it. I wanted to hear it turn over.
Yeah.
That was goal number one. What a happy surprise that it popped off after, I don't know, 6 turns of the engine.
Not even. I don't
didn't
think.
take too much. It belched the first time, and then the second time I think is when it stayed running.
Yeah, the first time I was probably just trying to figure itself out. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, what's the timing at?
Yeah.
How much fuel are we getting? All that fun jazz.
Yeah. What a trip. But yep. So we'll see. I mean, the motor sounded okay. So that was exciting.
It's a little hard to tell because it's just straight header. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it did sound pretty good.
Yeah, it sounded like all the cylinders were hitting, so that's huge. And yeah, I mean, it didn't do anything too crazy. I didn't hear any awful noises out of it.
I didn't hear any loud ticking noises or anything like that.
That's always the fear. So yeah, hey, that's cool. So you didn't have nearly as good of an experience tonight.
No, so we have the SR20 back in the car finally. It's all prettied up. It's bolted down. It might need to get adjusted. We did add shims to clear the steering rack mounts, which shouldn't change anything. What? Just did you?
No, it's okay.
You opened up. Okay, so the whole screen went white, and I'm like, oh shit, the computer just crashed.
Oh my god, everything's dying.
The computer decided to do cocaine.
Yes. Snow. It's a picture of snow.
Yeah, so I got one issue I had over the weekend was I had to replace the drain hose for the turbo that goes down into the lower end of the block.
That's right.
Because the factory hose was just like an inch too short. Different turbo, just a little too short. Went, bought rubber hose, all that kind of stuff, put it in, and it looked kind of good. I got into the car, and it ended up being kind of kinked and kind of close to the steering shaft. Took it back out, had to modify the drain tube because the drain tube comes down about an inch, inch and a quarter, and then there's like a 45 off of it.
Okay.
So we lobbed
weird.
the 45 off of it. I had a buddy weld a lip onto it, and now I can run my hose nice and smooth up to be the drain tube.
That's cool. Okay.
But the problem is, you had to access any of this kind of crap. It's easiest to do it with the manifold and the turbo off the motor, because directly underneath the turbo is the motor mount, the steering column, and the brake booster, and the master cylinder. It's all shoved in one little corner.
Yeah, it's a very busy spot.
Yeah, luckily the master cylinder is still out of the car, so it took like 40 minutes to put and cut to length because I needed it all in the car to cut to length the new hose.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up having to do that 3 times. Luckily I had enough hose because one was too short.
Was that tonight that you dealt with that?
That was all tonight.
Oh man, that's what started the night off bad.
Yeah. But finally got that all kind of laid out, looking nice. Replumbed the turbo, got all that hooked up. So that's all happy. Manifolds bolted back down. Got the body harness ran. Got the new Christmas tree style zip ties all put in for everything to hold them in place up against the fenders and all that kind of stuff. Got the P clamps came in over the weekend, so those are on the firewall now. Got the engine harness put in, plugged into the engine itself. Everything's ran to the cab that needs to go into the cab. Still need to run all the sensor stuff out, but it's all been ran. So in theory, it should all go together fairly quick.
It's close.
So I got all that kind of loosely secured where everything's going to be. It's not pretty yet, but it's laid out really well. Got the intercooler in, and then started putting on my silicone hoses or couplers. Got 2 of those clamped down. Went to put on the charge pipes, and one's too long and one's too short all of a sudden. No clue.
That's such a bitch.
And the shitty thing is I was fighting with this for the last hour before I came over here. Because I'm like, I just want to put this in. Like, I need to polish them up anyways. But I just wanted them in so I can have that image, of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, you want to have that like closing the night out, looking at it, admiring it, taking mental note.
Exactly.
That fuels your energy for the next time you're going to go and wrench.
And then it doesn't quite get to. And I was like, cool, if I can at least get these in and they line up, I can put the radiator in and get the hoses in, and then it will look complete-ish. Like, that's where I wanted to be tonight. Is at least make it almost complete-ish. That way I have that, like you said, that image. But yeah, the last hour was spent fighting charge pipes not looking right. And then I got over here and kind of bitched for 45 minutes and then realized, like, wait a second. Does the motor just need a twist a little bit?
Yeah, could it be very well could.
Is the shifter just not lined up where it's supposed to be and it just needs to pivot a little bit?
Yeah, because like how much adjustment is in the center?
Fuck. Well, for the transmission, quite a bit because it's got those carriage bolt styles that go through the floor pan, and those are on tracks that are like,
wow.
There's like 10 inches there that they could slide back and forth.
Yeah, so those got a lot of movement and they can pitch sideways.
A little bit.
Is the mount that uses those carriage bolts, is that also slotted?
Ever so slightly, yeah. It's slotted. There's like an inch slot.
So you have a lot of different areas where this thing could be thrown out of balance.
It could be something that dumb.
Yeah.
And instead of just looking it over before I came over here to kind of ease my mind, I'm just like, screw you, car. Shut everything off and just walked away.
If I were you, depending on like how you have the charge pipes secured on both ends, like loosen up any of the clamps that you've done so far and just see if you've got a little bit more room to play around with.
They're not even clamped in.
Yeah,
they're just
like
kind of
I would just
in the
twist and just see like, okay, how much do I have before the the bead roll, the bead on it, like, and just see if that's part of the problem too.
Yeah.
You never know.
And so like I said, I was fighting that, and so I'm like, okay, I really do need to end tonight on a win. So I kind of have all the pipes sitting in there, and my tile blow off valve came in finally.
Oh, nice.
And
that's cool.
It came in 4 days after the Amazon one showed up at my house.
That's hilarious. Well, that means you can send that Amazon one back.
I used the flange out of it because as soon as I got it, I sent it out to Cody. I'm like, weld this up for me.
Does the tile one have a flange?
It should, yeah. So I might just package it back up and send it back.
They should be the exact same thing.
Yeah. So I mounted my blow off valve to my other pipe because like, cool, that fits. But
Hell yeah.
That was my win for the
Well, yeah, man. I mean, the quality product came in, so you get to use that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool. And like the epiphany that, I mean, maybe I just need to twist this thing around a little bit.
I'm hoping that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
As soon as we get done tonight, I'm running home, and that's the first thing I'm doing. And if
Yeah.
that's all it is, I'll sleep really well tonight. And if it's not, I might just not go to work.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, just because there's one rough evening doesn't mean that the next day won't just kick ass, and then you'll find that
Exactly.
things are falling into place. You never know.
It's that quicksand effect. It's
It
like,
is,
it's one
yeah.
little thing, and then it's the next little thing. Like, again, fighting with the drain, that drain tube. Like, okay, it's a little dumb thing that wanted to fight me, and then after that, I couldn't find one of the bolts for the exhaust manifold.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
of those scenarios, like everything's in a Ziploc baggie. How is one not there? And I look under the car, and it's just sitting underneath the oil pan. Yeah, I don't remember dropping
Son
that.
of a bitch. I
just
know
dumb shit.
it is dumb shit for sure. Like, I mean, I had a couple of little annoying things. It's like I forgot that I needed to get some shorter M8 exhaust studs. Because, I've got those headers, and the headers are drilled for M10 holes.
Yeah, which is weird.
Why in the hell? Maybe there's an LS at some point that had M10 holes. I don't understand why they're this way. I got these adapters. Well, basically, it's a stud that's an M8 on one end and an M10 on the other end. Amazing that they actually make these things. So it adapted, and the M10s help hold the headers in place. So that's huge.
Side motion, yeah.
So as long as I got a couple of those on each side, great. Well, I forgot that I needed to pick up some shorter exhaust studs because the one that I got from O'Reilly, they're 2 inches long, and I need something that's closer to like an inch and a quarter, give or take, whatever, something shorter, because these ones stick way the fuck out. Maybe they're like 2.5 inches. They're ridiculous. They look horrendous. So I just grabbed some bolts and stuff, and I had to kind of hunt for that, and then I couldn't find like the dipstick tube bolt because it's like it's weird. It's like it's not even like an M10. Because I couldn't find anything that matched. So the LS, I don't know if it's like a combination of metric bolts and sometimes they like
weird.
fine thread 3/8 or what the fuck this thing was. I managed to find a bolt. I haven't measured it. I don't know what it is. I had to hunt. So I get it. It's just like it's super annoying, and I didn't know that the night was going to end this good. I was kind of excited. Like, I was getting things done. I've got like a new filter, a new gasket in the transmission. I've got fluid in the thing now. I've got the lines ran, the filter and the oil in the engine. Just kind of checking all these things off, and I'm like, is this going to happen tonight? Like, oh my god, like, okay, this is going okay. This is going okay. Like I can get the alternator on now. That fought me for a little while. Got it like lined up and put it on there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for Donnie. Like, when he gets here, we're gonna try and fucking start this thing. Holy shit!
Show up, and I'm just a crabby asshole.
Well, hey man, I get it. I'm like standing back, and I had probably 15 minutes before you were gonna be over here, and I'm just like looking at the car, and I'm like, there's got to be something I'm missing. Like, there has to be something here that's just not secured yet. And it's like I went through everything in my head. And obviously the thing was that the sniper needed to be bolted down tighter, but goddamn, man, it's wild to be at this point. And your car is right there.
I know it is.
You could have turned it over tonight, right?
In theory, I could at least heard it crank over.
If the charge pipe is the only thing holding it up, you can turn that over. Yeah. It's not going to start because it needs to read the
and I got to do
MAF.
I still have to do the fuel pump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Fuel pump, fuel lines. Throttle cable have to go in.
You could start it with the factory fuel pump, though. You just can't hit boost.
Well, here's the thing. What I might do is hook up the rest of the electrical put oil in it, and then at least crank it over, because I can be like, okay, cool, my electrical is all good. It does turn over.
Yeah.
Starting system's good, and then swapping out the fuel pump is a matter of pulling the seat out real quick in the back.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's a
Okay,
cover.
very simple.
I think you have to modify it a little bit, but I remember seeing a write up for it that I saved.
Nice. Okay.
So you got to do a little trimming, and then a couple rubber lines to the fuel rail. And that should be it.
That's it, huh?
Well, I got to figure out a fuel filter for it too. I got to tie a fuel filter in there somehow.
Oh, it doesn't have a fuel filter right now?
No, because they use a like the canister style.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's an important.
But see, here's the
important
thing: is I still have the bracket and all that. Well, no, I can't. That'd be a lot of heat if I had the fuel filter in the factory location, because it sits above the steering shaft, below the master. So you'd have the exhaust manifold, the turbo right there next to your fuel filter.
It's a little bit of heat for sure. I mean, you could probably like mount it more behind the headlights. It's at least a little bit further away.
Yeah.
I want to say that the SR20s. Hey, we got beer.
beer.
It is called the Three Floyds Lazer Snake IPA.
We've had this.
We have.
Yeah.
We've had Lazer Snake.
I'm pretty sure I bought Lazer Snake one
Are
time.
you sure you bought Lazer Snake?
Yes.
You
I'm
did?
almost
Okay.
positive, because
That's amazing.
I remember thinking, holy shit, Laser Snake, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, right?
And if I remember correctly, it was fantastic, but it's
Good.
been like 2 months, I think.
Oh, has it? Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. All right.
Laser Snake.
Lazer Snake.
That would be a kick-ass tattoo. This venomous cobra with machine guns and stuff.
That is a really good idea. And I have a lot of real estate on my arms yet.
Matching Laser Snake tattoos?
Yeah. Both of us. We'll just get different colors. The colors of our cars.
Great. So mine's shit brown. Thanks, buddy.
It's all love, baby. Well, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Your car is so fucking close, though. Like, and you could, if you didn't give a shit and you wanted to risk getting plugged injectors, you could just slap that fuel line in there and try and get it to start.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, like I said, it's all little things.
Where I was going, I think I actually fucked up and cut myself off when I grabbed the beer.
Maybe.
So the SR20 or the 240SX uses the same canister style. I want to say that they use a canister with two barbs pointing opposite directions out of the top of it, and it just it's just hose clamped on.
Okay, so it's very similar, yeah, because
Yeah.
BMW comes up from the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
And it filters through and then goes up the top and all that shit.
So you could just flip the Nissan one upside down probably, and use like a stock location
Or I could just mount the factory BMW filter in place and then just run a hose from that over to my my fuel line.
You could. Yeah, I mean, it's just got a filter. That's
Yeah,
all it's got.
that's all it's
And
gotta do.
it's the same pressure levels or similar pressure levels, less flow. But I mean, it's a fucking fuel filter. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I would, maybe try that. And then if it's a problem, if there's too much heat right there, could always try and do like some kind of a.
Well, it's the canister
filter.
style, so it wouldn't be that hard to get a little bit of exhaust wrap or something. Mm-hmm. And just wrap it.
Get kind of, like a shield or something like that to put in the way.
That is something dumb.
Hey, you totally could.
I should probably have a shield regardless because the master's right there.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Some kind of shield around the. You could do a turbo blanket.
Yeah.
That would help. And then, you could always do some kind of a little shield. And do you guys have like an English wheel at work? You probably don't do anything that's special. I'm sure. I guarantee we know somebody who
Has
could
an
roll
English
something
wheel.
like that and just make, because it's a really simple shape. I
Yeah.
mean, you basically just need to make like a curve that's going to kind of wrap around the turbo manifold a little bit.
Yep.
Above and below is fine.
Yeah.
It's just to that side that you want to deflect heat.
Yeah, it's something we can easily tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I will need to steal you for a night. Not even a full night. I'd
Yeah.
say 2 hours. I'm going to need help measuring for a drive shaft. Because I've never measured for a drive shaft.
Yeah, yours is going to be a little unique, but
I'm going to need your help measuring for the slave cylinder for the transmission. That's going to be a two-person job just because I can't hold everything in place.
you need a braided line?
Yep, that'll help you braided line.
Gotcha. You're not going to do a steel line, huh?
I guess I could do steel line.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. I'll have to
let's
get it all
see,
mounted up so I can do a steel line.
So what are the big factors? The steel line would be going from chassis to the trans, right?
Yes.
So it wouldn't have any room for flex.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be the downside.
What you could do, you know what? It'll be more expensive, but it might be worth just getting a custom line. Yeah, just measuring it up quick. Because then you're going into Northern Engine and you're saying, like, here's the size that I need. Here's the fitting on this side. Here's the fitting on this side. Bridge this.
Make it this long.
And Jay he's the best. Like, he made my transmission lines. Like, he's my go-to for all those
So I wonder
custom
if I should
pieces.
measure power steering lines and all that at the same time and just be like, here's 3 lines I need. Just get it.
Yeah. Expect it to be expensive. It'll be a couple $100 easily.
I already expected that.
Yeah, it was like $180 or $170 for my trans lines.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's 5.5 feet of hose. It's braided. It's high pressure. It's transmission, so it's like really high pressure hydraulic line.
Yeah, so I'll need your hand measuring all that stuff out, and then because you had the SR20 first, I don't know where all the vacuum lines go.
Oh, gotcha.
There's a bunch of little nipples off the intake and all that, and I have no clue where they go.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out. That's an easy
just
thing.
Like it's all just like the little dumb shit.
Yeah, we'll look up a there'll be an image, I'm sure, where it just says, like, it points at all of them and says this is this, this is this, and there will be for sure. Or we'll call up Pat and we'll be like, hey bud, where does all this stuff go? And he'll be like, cap it all. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's probably going to be one that's going to run to like the fuel pressure regulator. And that's probably like the bulk of it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many other things really need vacuum.
Fuel pressure regulator. I think that's just in the fuel rail.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a vacuum
I
reference.
don't think so. I'd have to look at it again.
That's cool. So maybe the idle air controller needs a vacuum source and stuff like that.
That'd be my guess. Yep, and I've talked to Cody about doing the exhaust since Phil is overly busy. And Cody's like, I just need a Saturday.
That's cool.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and you can always just have that thing dump underneath the car
And that's
just to drive
probably
it.
what will happen if it gets to that point of where I can get it to Powercruise. I'll just be like, put 3 feet on it so it doesn't, so it just exits behind the driver's seat a little bit.
Just dump it and then have him, or even maybe you can pick one up, but just do a turn down. Just like you grab a 90-degree bend, cut it off where it's like, so you don't have ground clearance issues. So it just points at the ground, blows at the ground, clamp it, and just call it a day for a little while.
Yeah, obviously the kids aren't going to be in the car anytime soon.
Janky.
I get it all figured out.
Yeah, and you do got like a couple of holes in the floor in the trunk, right? So there's a chance it might pull a little bit in there.
Yeah, and the driver's side rear wheel well, there's one hole.
That's right. So when your window's open, it might try and pull some exhaust stink in, but it'll get you by for a little while.
Yeah.
Or we leave the hood off and you do a big hater pipe. The irony is that you don't actually have room to go up with the exhaust, though.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you literally have to go underneath the car in that thing. Unless you did a big top mount, then, obviously you'd have room, but...
Not doing a top mount.
No, fuck that. You don't need it. You don't need it, man.
No, like
it's
I said,
exciting. You're damn close,
It's
dude.
at that point where it's just a ton of little shit. It's so many little things and just trying to keep track of fucking everything.
Yeah.
And it needs an alignment, but the alignment's just calling around and saying, can you do it?
Totally. Well, and you've got a lifetime alignment up at Firestone, don't you?
I do, and I actually have an appointment for the 26th. But
26th.
it's
Oh, so 4 days away.
Yeah. I'm going to have to call them and cancel that.
I wouldn't yet.
Not yet?
Yeah, I'd cancel it the day before, the night before,
Yeah.
at their closing time or something like that.
true.
I mean, yeah, like it's
They're not going to give a shit regardless. They're like,
the techs won't mind not having to do it.
The funny thing is so, every time I call, I get somebody who, I used to work at Firestone, for those of you that don't know me. And my old boss still works there, and there's a couple of people that still work there from when I worked there. All super cool, good dudes. Every time I call to set up an appointment, though, I don't talk to somebody that knows me. So they're like, oh, this guy's got a lifetime alignment on an 86 BMW. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And every time I call, they're like, well, why do you need it? And like, oh, I replaced tie rods or control arm
That's
bushings or
funny.
whatever.
Why do you need it?
And this time the guy's like, oh, well, what's the purpose for the alignment? I'm like, well, it's got a Nissan motor in it now. And there's just 5 minutes of silence. I'm like, oh, and I swapped the rack out of a 98 BMW into
Yeah.
it.
The silence was probably like, what? How does the motor relate to the steering?
Yeah, like it's all
Like,
fucking
no,
different.
I changed everything on this car.
Yeah, the only thing BMW on it is
the fenders.
yeah, and some of that's not even BMW probably.
No shit. Who knows if it's been in an accident? It's got sort of fit on it. Yeah, man. It's wild. I mean, I think you're a lot closer than you realize.
Yeah, I think it's just for those my whole week's just been busy, like over the top busy. It's what happens when you're a dad and you work.
A dad who does a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I believe that I could die at any given moment. So do everything that I enjoy all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, load up on the feel goods.
Yep, and the downside is I really like lots of shit.
Yeah.
So, which is awesome, but you get weeks periodically where you just don't have any free time. There's just none. It doesn't happen every single week, but I'd say 4 or 5 times a year there's a week where it's just like everything is going on. You are busy every single day, every single hour, and that's just this week. So when the car just didn't want to go smooth tonight, it's just like, here's one more thing, just adding up to the list. But
yeah. I mean, it has a way of snowballing.
Yeah.
You know.
The nice thing though is like, for instance, the drain tube. As I'm sitting there struggling with it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this 10 more minutes. If I can't get this to work out, we're moving on to something I know I can get done tonight.
That's a really important tactic.
It's like I'm gonna give it an hour. If it takes longer than an hour, we're moving on and we're gonna start putting the electrical in. And then about 5 minutes after I said that, I got the length down right. I got it all in. I got the clamps tightened up. I'm like, it's not kinked. Fucking moving on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like it's managing your time. So for those that are wondering why it looks like I'm distracted, so normally we've got a process pre-podcast for putting together our marketplace finds. And we didn't do that. We just fired the podcast up and went. So I'm trying to load everything up, and we're quite a ways from my house and trying to use Wi-Fi, and it's garbage. So that's why it looks like I'm a little preoccupied.
With that being said, if you would like to donate a spot for us to do the podcast that has Wi-Fi, we'd greatly appreciate it. We'd buy you a beer once a week.
Yeah,
probably a crisp high 5 or 2.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, we especially come the winter months, we might be looking for a space to rent, to actually do the rent, or if somebody's willing to let us use the space to do the podcast out of. Because I mean it's going to be cold out here. It's going to be hard to heat this thing.
And the noise of the heater going nonstop.
Yeah, over here it won't be so bad. It is quite a bit quieter.
It won't be as noisy, but it'll be colder because we're over here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the thoughts crossed my mind of trying to do like one of those little natural gas style or like propane little fireplaces. The ones that like supposedly they have ones that are like blue flame, like
the mount on the wall.
Yeah. I've thought about putting one in here because it'd be funny, like a little bit of ambiance. But it always trips me out, the idea that it's ventless. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh man, am I gonna get a headache from this? Like, surely if something's burning, that has to give off carbon monoxide.
Yeah, so you'll probably get a little bit of a headache. I think it takes
I don't want a
while.
headache every damn week. I'd look so fucking lethargic by the end of the podcast.
But here's the thing: if we had open flames, we can make s'mores.
We could. It's true, and if it's actually that clean, like you could probably do s'mores as long as it doesn't drip down into the furnace.
Awful.
That'd be a fire hazard.
Next week we go to do the podcast. It just smells of burnt marshmallow the entire time.
That wouldn't be the worst thing.
It's true. It could smell. Could smell worse.
Could smell like ass.
Good.
I mean, I don't know how you get there, but somebody backs into it
and fucking
pantsless.
Burns their ass hair on it.
I don't know how that happened, but it could happen.
What are you doing out here? Probably a good thing there's no black lights out here.
What am I doing out here?
Yeah, it's your garage. You're the only one that would walk out here naked and burn your ass on the heater.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I got like super cold, well, if I got wet, if I fell in a lake and then I needed to warm up fast, that would probably be the only scenario where I'd put my bare ass up against flame. Because what else would you need it for? You know?
Yeah.
On the other end of that spectrum. So I have central air now in the house.
Awesome.
Let me tell you, oh my God, is that
isn't it?
heavenly? It is so fucking nice.
It's the only thing I miss about Kansas.
Oh man, because you guys had central air.
We had to.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, so it's like I have been crabby about having forced air heating in the house for fucking ever because I hate it. Like I don't like hot air blowing around because it's kind of peaky. And granted, I now have a very efficient furnace. I've got like the highest efficiency furnace that you can get. It's very new. It's like 4 years old or something like that. So it's awesome. That's a lot better than the original one. But there's still like it blows the heat in. And it ramps up to a certain temperature, and then it lets it fall, and then it kicks back on. And there's no constant heat source, whereas like radiant heat, there is constant heat.
Yes.
Even when it's like the system's not cycling, there's still heat radiating.
Which is good and bad at the same time.
Yeah. But it's cozy. In the winter,
in the
it's
winter,
super
it's
cozy.
Nice. It sucks when your daughter is doing watercolor painting at the kitchen table and wants to dry her painting super quick. So she's like, I'm going to turn the heat up because she's smart. And you come downstairs at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's 85 degrees.
Your house was 85?
Yeah, in June. It was 85 degrees she turned up to. It was like 75, 80 outside.
June?
And she cranked up the temperature. And we're like, what the fuck? And it takes all day for the house to cool down because it's like you said, it's radiant heat. So once it hits its temperature, it stays there for hours.
That's awful, dude. I never even thought of that aspect.
Part of me was like,
Jesus.
okay, first off, kid, that's rather smart. You want to dry something?
Yeah.
Use heat. Fucking bravo. Don't touch the thermostat.
Yeah. I know, right? It's like you got to get one of those locking boxes that you secure over it, like at an office building.
I didn't even know how to react.
Oh,
I'm like,
that is the most dad move
I'm
ever.
I'm happy, but I'm upset.
That would be the most like dad power move ever. Of like getting a locking box over the thermostat. You need to do that over like the light switches too, and then you just got full control.
Oh yeah, and you
I
gotta
pay the bills around here.
Gotta put a lock on the fridge so don't leave that open.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
That kind of shit.
Exactly. Or the fridge is like on a oh man, like a bungee system or a
screen
like
door.
it tries to pull itself closed
like
every
the screen
time.
Doors.
Like you got to kind of fight, so you can't just stand there with it open. It tries to pull itself closed.
See, that's all fun and games until she's holding the door open and Roman, my son, is grabbing something
Sticks
and
his
she
head in
lets
there.
go and just bam.
Well, that's why it's got that nice, like, soft rubber seal that will cushion the blow, and it'll just hold his head really tight. It'll freak out. It'll be like, "Oh my god, my head's getting crushed." It's not. There's no crunching sounds. You're fine. You're fine.
He's a bit of a bitch.
There's no brain damage.
I love him
kid.
to death,
You're
but
okay.
he's a whiner. He would just whine forever about that.
And I'm not bringing this up because I think my son's a bitch, but because like he had a meltdown moment tonight that was really interesting. So he. Little man, for whatever reason, I've never clipped his toenails. It's always been the wife. But tonight he was just melting down about it. And I think, so I came in, after work, I came in just before running my errands and getting out here to the garage to tinker. And he's melting down, and she's got like the big adult-sized toenail clippers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking at it, and I figured, okay, well, maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the size of this thing isn't necessarily the problem, like whatever. But he's freaking out because he says it hurts. And the wife's trying to get through it, and then she's also got this screaming baby who just woke up from a nap upstairs, so she's got the pressure of like, I got to get up there because the kid's melting down, and she's at an age now where she's really active, and she can like pull herself up, and it's just there's a lot more room for injury with a little one when she's that mobile. So Chloe's got all that pressure of trying to get moving, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like watching over the whole thing because I haven't seen toenail clipping with him yet, and he's melting down at the point where it's like I think his fear is legitimate. It's not just like he is anxiety. It's like he's melting down in a way where it's like. No, I do think he got hurt at some point.
Yeah,
right?
Just clip the side of his toe just a little bit or something like that.
Like a little bit of skin.
Yep.
And kids, like, I shouldn't even say kids. It's just humans. The worst pain we've ever felt is the worst pain we've ever felt. So if you are 1 year old and the worst thing you've ever felt is falling down and bumping your head, that to you is the worst pain worst pain in the world. Mm-hmm. When you're 15 and you fall off your BMX bike and you try to go off a jump and the front tire digs in to the front and you face plant into the ground right before prom. What was it? Homecoming, when you're running for the homecoming queen and you end up with a bloody face. Yep, that happened to me.
You were running for homecoming queen?
Queen, yes.
Okay.
Queen, yes.
You got the tits for it.
Well, what can I say, man? Like I'm like ahead of my time, progressive ahead of my time. You can call me Zim Zur. Those are my.
Was this back when you had hair?
What are they called?
Was it longer?
I had spikes at that point.
Awesome,
Is there any other dumb shit you want to ask? Okay,
no.
great.
I just saw this.
So
I have this image of you wearing with spikes some band T-shirt you probably bought at Hot Topic with those big Jinko parachute jeans.
Oh, dude, homie.
Was that
homie,
you?
No. So running for homecoming king, I want to say, fuck, what was I wearing? I never so I was the baggy pants kid. I had the Jinkos, like I had the the chains hanging off of everything. I listened to Pantera, Cannibal Corpse.
You and I were very similar.
Yeah, Morbid Angel, all that shit. Yeah. So I want to say that my homecoming king was like a zoot suit. It was pinstriped zoot suit, if I remember correctly, because I know that I had a suit like that. It was stupid in retrospect. I had no sense of style back then. Anyway, so my little boy, he's melting down, and I'm looking at it and I'm realizing like, oh, actually, I do think the problem is the clipper. I think it's pulling up the toenail too much.
Just a little bit or something.
And you know what that feels like when a toenail or a fingernail kind of gets pushed or pulled and it just flattens out and it has this awful pressure feeling.
Yep.
I think that's what's happening, right? So I went up and I grabbed the fingernail clippers and I'm working with him. This poor thing is melting down. And I'm like, because when a kid's that upset about something and they've got a fear, you have to try and work in increments. So this poor kid is just freaking out. And I'm like, I'm just going to press the toenail clipper up against your skin. See, that doesn't hurt. It's okay. Because I had to start at that point where it's just like he's so terrified of it. I had to let him hold it, and then I had to like hold it against his skin, and be like, "See, okay, that doesn't hurt." And then I had to like touch it against the nail, and I'm like, "See, honey, like that, it's okay. Like we're all right.
We're good."
And I'm like rubbing his back the whole time,
Nothing
and I'm
is
just
fucked.
like, "See, nothing is fucked. Everything's cool, dude." Pissed on your fucking rug.
Bunch of fucking amateurs.
And so like it finally got to the point, and it took me 45 minutes, half an hour of working with him on this, and just like in tiny increments getting him there. And also it was super cool because I threw an incentive at him, and I was like, okay, so I've got a plethora of I've got a plethora of cars, Hot Wheels cars in the house at all times. And if you do a chore, not a chore, if you do chores, you get enough, you can get a car. Or if it's something kind of big, you do something significant, it's a reward system that I try and have in play. And so I was like, okay, this is a lot of fear for you to overcome. I'll tell you what, if you let me clip all of your toenails, I'm going to give you a new car tonight. How does that sound? And then it was cool. Something switched with him. And he went from being terrified to like, I'm terrified of this, but I want it because there's a reward at the end of this thing. And it's funny because now that I'm talking about it, it actually kind of clicks in my head even more of like, I might have really taught him something cool tonight, cause and effect, work towards something. Who knows? But so the little man is, he's still melting down. He's terrified. I don't know, like he must have gotten a toenail clipped way too short or something, or must have bled.
That would be my guess. Like I said, nicked. Like if we get to the sides a little bit, you can nick a little bit of skin.
Yeah, that's true. That stings. Yeah, it's got to be something like that. So the poor thing's just flipping out. And it's like I started clipping him, and it didn't hurt. I was like, okay, see, like focus on that. It didn't hurt. Like, and I'll ask him instead of just tell him. I'll be like, did that hurt? And he'll say no. And I'm like, okay, so can we move on? And just in like these little tiny increments. And in the end, we got all the toenails clipped, and I went and I got him a car, and we were high-fiving, and he was super excited. So it was this kind of cool dad moment of like, wow, I helped work my son through this thing that he's terrified of. This like what you would go like, you're being a little bitch, man. Just let me clip your toenails. Well, no, I mean like maybe using the other toenail clipper was actually hurting his feet. So he didn't have any perspective.
Very well could be.
He might have been like, oh my God, this hurts like a son of a bitch. Like if, you get gasoline in your eye, which I think you've had that happen. And
it does hurt like a son
I
of a
almost
bitch.
lose the tip of my finger in a giant 220 volt bench grinder.
Yeah.
because that's happened.
That shit hurts.
It does,
But see,
man.
here's the difference, though. You and I don't fear that, and we'll do it again in a heartbeat.
Because we're dumb as fuck.
I've lost track of how many times I've played it on the fuel, and I'm like, no safety glasses, nothing. I'm like, if it happens, it happens.
I know, it's like, if we die, we die.
Die with honor, man.
It's ridiculous. And that is why men don't live as long as women.
Yeah. How many women are on Jackass? None.
I don't know that there's a single one.
None. It's all men because men are just fucking stupid.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with us. We're dumb. We're just dumb as fuck.
Dudes are weird. We're gonna be like, we're gonna go walk on the moon, and then at the same time, we'll laugh at farts.
God, that's so true. So there's among us, we've got the Nikolai Teslas.
Yeah.
We've got the Einsteins.
We got the Henry Fords.
Yeah, we've got the Lex Friedmans. He's an AI genius.
Yeah.
We've got Elon Musk. He's a brilliant motherfucker.
He is brilliant.
God, who else is smart as fuck? There's so many.
The Apple guy.
Steve Jobs. Yeah,
There was Steve Jobs.
Steve
and then,
Jobs is pretty sharp.
The other dude, glasses. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Bill
Yeah.
Gates, yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft. You're thinking.
Yep, Microsoft. Thank you.
Yeah, smart dude. Yeah, I mean, it's like there's so many like really smart guys. Andrew Huberman, Sam Harris. Yeah, there's a ton of super smart motherfuckers out there. All these they're dudes, but they'll still laugh at a fart.
Oh yeah,
and it's like half of them are on these podcasts, and they'll laugh about like farts
just
or
dumb shit.
Dumb shit.
Yeah.
Dumb shit, man.
At the same time, if they were walking past a park, a children's playground, and saw a grown-ass man standing on a swing about ready to do a flip, they'd stand there and watch and secretly hope that he fucks it up and like lands on his back or his neck, you know?
Oh, man. Isn't that the truth?
Because dudes are all about that. We're all like,
I know.
He's going to fuck it up.
We take pleasure.
I'm not going to catch him, though. I want to see this.
Oh, my God. We take so much pleasure in watching each other get hurt
I
and
know.
shit.
It's so dumb.
I know, isn't that funny? Well, it's like we can, and I mean, if that isn't like evolution playing itself out, is like
It really
we're so clearly a mixture of this like stupid as fuck lizard brain, and then this evolution. This is like we've got all this knowledge at our fingertips that's been like passed on. You know, we've been writing books for a while. We've been doing teaching and whatever. And now we're at the point where we got the internet. And so we've got people that are fucking brilliant that are still like, oh, vagina. It's just like we go straight into like lizard brain, you know, just dumb as fuck. Ooh.
Yeah, they'll still spend half an hour on YouTube watching fail videos.
Maybe,
Like,
man.
I just want to see a kid fall off a bicycle.
Oh,
or,
it's the best thing ever.
Or whatever, you know? See, watching toddlers get tackled by cats.
Well,
It's
and
hysterical.
you know,
It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
And you know, it's like no matter how fucking smart you are, you can't continue processing something while shit is coming out of you. Your brain shuts off. Go ahead, take a dump tomorrow and try and maintain thought while it's pushing its way out of you.
Why do you think most people spend their time on Facebook when they're taking a shit?
Well, it's because they can scroll and they stop while the giant turd that's coming out of them stretching them out. You know. Yeah, man.
So as you know, speaking of dudes and being smart and dumb at the same fucking time,
Lazer snake.
I work in a shop. I work on utility trucks. We repair utility trucks. When I say repair, I'm not talking like oil changes and brakes.
Utility trucks and utility trucks accessories.
For instance, Glenn pulled a cylinder that is 35 feet long. I have a truck that'll put your ass 150 feet up in the air.
So the cylinder itself
It was vibrating. Has vibration in it when they go to
extend it. You
extend
said it was 35 feet?
That's about 35 feet, 40 feet
So
long.
Are these booms telescopic? Like,
Yeah.
how does this work?
So there's this one is telescopic. There's a lower and an upper, and there's a pivot at the end.
So
on the knuckle.
is this shaft like splined? Like, how does this thing is it
Glenn's shaft or the truck shaft?
both?
Glenn's shaft might be splined because he's been bitching he's not getting any at home.
Oh, that's a shame. That's true. No, it's splined to the left.
Yeah. Sorry, Glenn, if you're watching this, I'm gonna shit talk on you a little bit.
Hey, man, once you got a couple of kids, nobody's getting laid.
No, it's not splined. There's what's called trunnions that hold it in place, and then a pin.
I love that you use that word. Okay,
Trunnion?
so I got my drive shaft built today, and we
Yeah.
were talking about U-joints, me and the dude who was building it. He used the word trunnion, talking about like its support, its where it has its strength in the center of the thing, and I
Yep.
was like, trunnion, like
It's a fun word.
Fucking love that word. It's a good word.
Yeah, trunnions. They suck though when people install them wrong. I had to drill one out last
Yeah,
week. I had to use a 3/4 drill bit to drill one out.
a 3/4 inch drill bit. Oh, so the drill is just like fighting you and trying to break your
Oh,
wrist
yeah,
the
I put
entire
the
time.
handle on it.
Fucking hate
But
that.
yeah, so anyways, go full circle here.
Trunnion.
Trunnions. So yeah, so like we're smart motherfuckers. Like I said, we fix some kind of complicated stuff there and whatnot. We also spend the same amount of time fixing trucks. We spend the same amount of time like flipping each other off or like farting by each other or just
Sure.
really dumb shit. Like going up to each other like, why are you so fucking stupid? And then just walking away. So it's like even though we're
perfect.
all 30s to 40-year-old, it's like we still act like children. Even though we have smart jobs.
That's true. You guys got to use your brains a lot. Like it's a lot of problem solving.
It just
It's
shows
a lot of
men never grow up and men are always stupid.
I know, and I kind of feel bad. Like I wish women could get the same level of joy, and some do, but for the most part, women don't. They're not laughing at the farts as much.
No. Well, and
I just think that's such a shame. Like there's so much joy to get out of watching somebody else shit their pants.
And I think South Park illustrated it the best. They did a whole episode on the difference between farts and queefs. That's hysterical. If you've never seen it, watch it. There's a scene involving Martha Stewart that's just
Oh my god.
she sticks glitter up there and then she queefs
That
it out.
I
and
remember.
sprays
That.
glitter everywhere.
Isn't Snoop Dogg in that one too?
I think so. Yeah. But it's like that dudes are laughing their asses off of that. I tried to show my wife I'm laughing. She giggled at it, but I thought it was hysterical. She's
I
like,
know,
okay,
right?
it's funny, but what else?
It's these like simple pleasures.
Yeah.
Simple pleasures. Our brains, no matter how intelligent they are, we still enjoy them. I don't know, man. A good fart. A good fucking fart.
Good
and
fucking
I would
fart.
wager that some of the smartest motherfuckers on the planet, if you have a good, funny sounding fart, because, you know, there's a variety.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get like a really, really wet fart. I'd love to see somebody try and not laugh. Or like the squeaker. You know, like, I'd love to see one of those and not see somebody laugh.
I always laugh at the ones that last for about 5 to 10 seconds,
Jesus.
and they change pitch.
Who are these people you work with?
No, this came out of me. The
Terrible diets.
Oh, you have no idea.
How much air is in you?
You have no idea some of the shit people eat there. When your lunch consistently is just a vending machine cheeseburger, you're eating some
You're
nasty
kidding
shit.
me. You work with people who eat vending machine cheeseburgers?
Yes.
Those are a step down from gas station cheeseburgers.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty. And so you hear and you smell some nasty fucking farts at work.
Oh my god, that is rot. That is rot. Those
I mean,
those farts must smell like dead.
I have a feeling if we stuck a microphone by everybody's ass and just recorded 1 week's worth of farts, there'd be enough tone difference that we could probably play the national anthem.
Yeah, I believe it. I fucking believe it, man.
So yeah,
Oh good god, that's crazy.
yeah, it's a bunch of grown ass men that just fucking nasty.
Gross, dude. Well, and that's just like the bodily function side of it. It's like I can only imagine the dialogue in that place.
Yeah, it's
The grotesqueness.
Well, the funny thing is, there's a handful of women that work there. There's probably like on the floor in production building trucks. There's probably 20 women.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know how you tolerate just the filthy men that work there.
Well, I mean, there was that movie North Country that
I've never seen that.
if you're not familiar with it, it's about a woman who worked in the mines, the mining industry on the Iron Range, which is about an hour and a half north of here. That's where I grew up. And it's basically a woman who worked in a very rough and tumble kind of job. Like this is not a pussyfooting kind of job. You've got to be fucking tough to work in the mines because you're literally digging holes. You're working on heavy equipment. You're working crazy long hours. Sometimes you're working because they're melting down iron ore into pellets.
Yeah, it could be hot
and
as
so
hell.
you're working in these 120-degree rooms, 130-degree rooms. Insane shit, covered in soot, nasty. Nasty as fuck. So you have to be kind of a roughneck personality in the first place. You can't be some delicate ass like, you know,
you can't
I gotta moisturize my hands because they feel dry. Kind of like individual. Like you've got to kind of be like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe that's not the right. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know.
There's probably a little bit of fuck given, but not a whole lot of fuck
Not
given.
a lot of fucks given, right?
No.
Yeah. So like, there's this woman who in this story who works in this situation. So it's crazy. There's always a couple ladies that dive into that, and you know they'll pull it off in this story. She works there and deals with all like the insane bullshit that the men throw at her because they're a bunch of fucking cavemen. So of course they're like, oh, vagina, you know, whatever. Yeah, exactly. And she wasn't like the most striking woman in the world, but
No,
they didn't
but
care.
But when that's all you have to stare at for 40 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly. It all looks good. It's like beer goggles, but it's, you know, starvation goggles.
Your two options is to look at Todd over there with his fucking beer gut hanging out, or Jennifer.
Yeah, exactly. Sooty covered Todd with
Who
his
just
ass
looks like a
crack.
lesbian version of Todd. But
Yeah, precisely.
You're like, okay, that's cool. At
You're
least
like,
your
that's
tits are
cool.
real.
Yeah, I'm attracted to your gender, so you're that much closer to my pursuit. Yeah, crazy. So you got ladies working at your shop.
Yeah, well, not in service. They work in the production side. So
It's got to be rough if they're pretty too. If they're like, if they're exceptionally pretty,
it's
that's
a
got
lot
to be rough.
It's a lot more like country type girls. You know, camouflage hats, wearing the steel-toed cowboy boots and stuff like that.
I love
they-
that group of females.
So like it's pretty badass. Production is dialed back a lot from service. Service, there's like 10 of us back there, and we're a very tight knit group. Like I know for a fact, if my boss came up to me and said, "Hey, do you need a hand with anything?" I could instantly shout out back at him, "Well, you could fuck off for starters," and I would not get I would not get fired. He'd probably laugh
That's awesome.
and then walk away.
But on the production side, they're probably a little bit more uptight.
I'd get probably written up for that.
Up. Oh, that's a shame.
They're not as loose as we are.
Yeah.
For instance, I was in the office explaining to my boss the job I was working on, and another technician walks in and says, "Hey, look out the window real quick." I look out, so there's a window in the office that overlooks the shop, and I look out the window. My buddy Justin is just standing there just flipping me off.
Oh, okay. I expect there to be a dick hanging
I laughed.
out.
My boss laughed, and we went back to what we were doing.
And because I expected there to be a dick hanging out is an example of... I wouldn't be surprised if you said, like, and his dick was hanging out. I'd be like, that's fucking hilarious.
If we didn't have cameras, there probably would be a dick hanging out.
Exactly. Exactly,
cameras.
dude. It's... and here's the thing. Like, in my mind, I go, that's fucking great. That boosts morale. Like,
we should.
And not because you're seeing a dick, but because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
because it's humor, you know? There's a cock hanging out. You're like, oh, what the fuck, man?
I'm gonna tell Justin tomorrow that he's got a funny dick, and he's gonna be like, "What?" I'm like, it's just a conversation we were having.
Exactly. And I don't know, like, I feel like women would really benefit. And maybe there's some that do get a kick out of that kind of thing. They're probably far and few between. And I think part of it is like women are probably... and I'm not saying like they get a kick out because they saw dick. Like maybe if they worked with a bunch of ladies and somebody flashed a clam at them and they're just like, Jesus Christ, like, you know, in that scenario, they probably get just as much of a kick out of it, you know? I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like, you got to try it out. Like, it's so fucking fun to just be amongst a bunch of idiots.
I don't know.
I fucking love it.
It's always more fun when you're dealing with new people. There's a bunch of new engineers they hired, and they gave them this like check sheet they had to go around and ask people out on the floor. Mm-hmm. One of them decided to come back to service and ask us for something. We told him like, "Oh yeah, that's in the basement. Go look in the basement."
There's no basement there.
Basement.
So that's such a good subtle. I mean, do they think about it for a second? They're like, I better go find the basement.
Yeah. It goes away.
That's amazing. Wouldn't it be funny if there was actually like a subterranean level, but it was just like
funnier than hell.
That's where they keep the fuse boxes or something like that. You know, like the main power for the whole building, and he goes down there, and there's just like, you know, nothing.
There's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's like, well, wait, what do they mean? It's like you both were a little wrong.
It's just tax records.
Fucking funny. Tax records. They're just burying them down there.
We constantly fuck with new people. It's
the way to do it, man.
There's a little bit of a hazing involved.
So I mean, I'm in human services. There is none of that.
Yeah, you don't get to do what we get to do.
There is none of that. But let me tell you though, like there, when it comes time for like and I don't do this anymore because now I'm at a managerial type level where it's like I don't go out and have drinks with the other employees. And if I was like with other managers, sure, I might have a drink. We'll kind of exchange horror stories. But when I used to be just at a counselor level, it was funny because so you would think that in human services that people are a little more uptight. They're a little more politically correct.
Yeah, you think so.
And it used to be like this. Something fucked up has happened, and all of a sudden there's a lot more woke PC type people in this line of work. It's really a shame because there used to be the sort of battle tested, the like war torn group of us where it's like we've seen some shit. You know, when you work in human services for a long time, you see some rough things.
Yeah, I mean the one summer I did it.
You work with kids.
Dude,
it's rough. Like you see parents, the nasty parent, home living situations.
I'm not gonna go into any details. I saw a scenario where I thought somebody was gonna call the cops on us.
Yeah,
it was.
You're right. It's rough shit. Like,
no, don't even say shit to me.
I've done it all. I've seen clients who were absolutely shit faced and acting a fool. I've seen so many naked people. I've seen so many like crazy, like just like the extent of delusion that some people have, and they're completely off their meds, and the wild things that can happen, and like all the way down to I've had people pass. Like I've found somebody who was on the edge of dying. Like the whole realm of it.
God damn.
So it's some heavy shit. So what you do when you work in that kind of situation is that you work in it, or you've experienced it when you're in people that have had like similar situations. You discover humor in it, and you crack jokes, and you like talk about your war stories, and like it's great.
You gotta get that
it's
shit
great.
off your chest.
And I don't mean war stories in a disrespectful way to the people who've actually been in wars. Like I mean it in the terms of like this is my war story.
Yeah, this is the worst stuff I've seen.
This is the worst stuff that I've seen for sure. And yeah, it's something how people in that scenario just the bonding, but the jokes sometimes were so like telling stories about just like the things that we've seen and cracking jokes about them and stuff is very not PC. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that sounds like my job.
It's great.
My boss has told us before. It's a really good thing. Our HR is located in Kansas City. Otherwise, we'd probably all be fired.
If the HR walked in and saw some of the insane shit that was going on, or heard the things,
it's just some really bad stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a big part of what makes a job really enjoyable is just like having that dynamic.
That's like the one thing I really like. I don't really like my job. I do. I love the people I work with. I hate the job. Yeah. I go up to Glenn because he's working on that big truck today and all that. I'm like, I can't tell if you have resting bitch face or if you're having a bad day. What's up? I'm just doing a buddy check. What's up, dude?
That's awesome.
He's like, oh, fine. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you can fuck off, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom now.
I just wanted to check in on you. Are you good? Are you good?
Okay,
yeah, I'm
cool.
fine, fag. Get out of here.
Fuck you.
It's like Jesus. Oh man, that's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
fucking shenanigans, man.
It's just organized daycare.
It really is. Yeah, man, it really is. Yeah. So I don't know, dude. Like, as far as the builds go, we're aiming for Powercruise, which is coming up, and so we're filming on a Thursday. It is currently the 22nd of July.
Powercruise is like the 4th, so we've got under 2 weeks.
Are we literally under 2 weeks now?
Yeah, so
oh, fuck. We're 2 weeks since we leave, isn't it?
Yeah, because we leave Thursday night after work.
Let's see.
So my mindset is this.
Oh, my God. We're 2 weeks from when we leave.
I'm going to do what I can to get it done in time, but I'm not aiming to have it done for Powercruise. That makes sense. I don't want the letdown to ruin my weekend.
Oh, for sure.
So my mindset is this. I'm aiming... Free time that I do have, I will work on the car. If I get it done in time, awesome. Mm-hmm. If I don't, I'm just going to drink myself stupid and have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like with the Ford, because it fired up tonight. That's really interesting. Like there's actually maybe hope that it'll make it. But I want to get a lot of seat time before I make that long drive.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to drive for a couple of days, you know. But honestly, I'd like to drive for a week, see what's going to happen with it. And I don't know that I'd take it on the track at this point, because it's like if it was running as of today and I could drive it as of today, different story. Couple of weeks worth of like testing it out, making sure that the brakes are going to work correctly, like that they'll stop you after getting on it a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have any random
All those
leaks or anything
things.
dumb, but
Yeah, like
that's the thing is we've torn both the cars apart so much. We kind of need a good solid 3-4 days to just drive home,
easily,
look them over.
yeah.
So like I said,
If it doesn't happen, if it doesn't work out, we're going to
gonna-
do the usual thing.
Yep.
You know, we're going to bring the fun toys over there.
Yeah,
You're bringing the Grom.
yeah, I'll
I'm going to bring the
Grom up.
Ruckus.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If neither car makes it, we can just take the Frontier. We'll load up the Ruckus and the Grom in the back of it, and we'll just drive one vehicle. And
Christ, yeah, that's true. We could literally drive one vehicle. I think what I'll probably end up doing is towing the pop-up, because I do have a pop-up camper.
And see, here's the thing is, I would ask you if I could sleep on the other side, but I sleep naked, so I'm taking my tent.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need to look over and see
Here's
nuts.
the thing. I am willing to give up a nice, dry,
Well,
comfortable bed so I can sleep butt ass
And
naked
let's
in my
be
tent.
real, your wife might be visiting a night.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Well, you're not going to bang your wife in my pop-up camper.
If I was sleeping,
Because you know who sleeps on the other side?
your children.
My children.
Okay, let me tell you something.
If you're about to tell me you've had sex on my son's bed, I'm going to punch you in the dick.
Which room is this?
The one in the basement, under the stairs.
No. If I was staying in your pop up and she came up, whether you were there or not, sex would be happening. It would either be I hope you're.
Jesus.
It would either be I hope you're asleep, or I hope you stay out drinking a little bit longer than you thought.
Oh my god, dude. I cannot even imagine like being in the same enclosure as a married couple at night. Because you just know frisky is gonna happen.
You've been at my place
Oh
at
my
night
God.
when we banged, but I guess that's not the
Dude,
difference.
you were in a room that was like 25 feet
I was
from
gonna
me.
say, I've been in the same place you've been when you banged your wife.
Basically conceived a child.
Luckily, I was
Okay.
really, really drunk and
So
passed out on the
funny
couch.
story. So we're staying in uptown Minneapolis, and this happened to be the weekend that we conceived my son, and Donnie was with. So at
Yeah.
some point, the sexuals happened, and a baby was made.
Yeah, it may or may not happen the same night we had an Airbnb
man.
together.
Yeah,
It
probably.
very well could
It
happen.
very well could have. It's so fucking funny. So yes, don't go making a fourth in my pop-up.
He's gonna be like 16, and we're gonna have some party for Atticus and all that. And I'm like, I got a story for you, kid.
Oh, dude, please do that.
So this is your girlfriend? Okay, well, I got a story for you too.
Yeah, let me tell you a little something about how this one was made.
So there we were. Jake hands me the camera for some reason and says, "Hey, can you zoom out a little bit?"
Here's a QR code. Go ahead, scan this with your phone. You probably don't want to watch this, but just so you know, this is how it happened. Yeah, this is your dad and mom's
You can
OnlyFans.
skip past this. He thinks he's gonna fix the cable. He's not.
Yeah,
There we go.
this is the satellite box. Oh, here we go. Here's the okay.
And if you look closely, there I am. There I am. There I am.
Oh man, I hope people got that.
I hope you guys get that joke. Probably not.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. You know, I would love to know other people's conception stories if they're good. If it's just
So-
like my wife and I were like having there's like rose petals over the bed, fuck off.
So,
fuck off. I want to hear the stories of like, so my wife and I were coming back from the bar and we saw a porta potty at a construction site, and so we banged in it. Guess what happened?
Yeah. I know that one hits close to home. For you.
Okay. I was gonna say, wait, you got a story like that too? I didn't make a baby doing that
Unfortunately,
though.
all of our kids were conceived.
Just
Yeah.
very.
But
very vanilla ways.
I do know of a celebrity, Ron Howard.
Ron Howard?
Ron Howard has named his kids after where they were conceived.
That's amazing. What are their names?
They were like named after the streets they lived on, or stuff like that, or the city that they were in.
Okay, gotcha.
Because he was on an episode
so
of Top...
one's not named like dumpster, and the other one's named like sleeping bag.
Why is this one called brothel?
Yeah, right.
No, he was on an episode
7-Eleven. Hey, come here over here, 7-Eleven. Bring me a beer.
He was on an episode of Top Gear where he was the celebrity in the reasonably priced car, and he was talking about their newest child that they had and all that, and I quote, they did the math. And they're like, well, Volvo isn't a very good name.
Oh, that's
so they named him after the
Volvo.
Yeah, so they named him after the street they were on.
Okay, so it's like Hawthorne or something
yeah,
like
something like that probably. Or
some like street name that could be
Reagan, or some president's name or something like that.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool. You named your kids after where they were conceived.
Yeah. That is pretty damn funny. Yeah, that does not apply with my children. No. Man, this fucking Facebook's just not going to jive. I guess we're not going to get to do Marketplace tonight.
I know. We talked about farts. We talked about the projects. We talked about conceiving children, workplace.
Yeah.
Any other random topics we should cover?
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like I feel pretty fulfilled by this whole conversation. So, oh man, and I've been like, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do like you and I vlog style, just like updates about the project so we can kind of keep people posted about the progress. But part of the issue when you're hustling at the level that we are is like you don't got fucking time to grab out a cell phone and take 6 different takes of like filming yourself explaining where you're at.
Yeah, I got the charge pipes lined up and I got the wiring in and all that.
Because
crap.
on top of that, we're filming as high a quality as we possibly can video.
I've been really picky and choosy. I'm like, is this important? No.
Yeah.
Fucking like zip tying wires together. I'm like, I'm not filming this. I'm gonna fly through this. Laying the harness out. Okay, I'm gonna film that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, there's just no time when you're trying to get literally everything done.
Yeah. Exactly. And like, there's hope for your car to make it. I think the biggest thing is like,
I'm playing like this. I do not plan on taking the BMW to Powercruise.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because if it makes it, I'll be that much happier.
No shit. That's a good point. So we're going to hustle on that thing.
Yeah, I'm treating it like I treat my kids. If I lower the expectations, I won't be disappointed.
That's such a good plan.
Oh, cool. They didn't become murderers. I did good as a parent. Fucking awesome. I don't care that you clean toilets at the Holiday gas station. That's fine.
It's fine. It's good.
Whatever. You didn't slaughter somebody, so that's cool.
Well, that's exactly it. You didn't become the next
I didn't read about you in the paper.
Serial killer or something. Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. And I mean, I'm not holding out hope for getting that thing there. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll drive, maybe. I mean, it's a super old car. We re-engineered fucking everything on it, so it's like.
Well, that's the thing. Both cars have been completely re-engineered.
Yeah.
Because mine was a motor swap that got a lot more done.
You didn't hack the front end of yours off.
That is true. Yeah, yours might run just fine, and then do the alignment, and it's just off ever so slightly.
Well, I'm okay with ever so slightly. What I'm afraid of is that it's way off. I don't think it is, because I think we've measured so many times.
I think so.
That we would have had to have fucked it up for it to be way off.
It rolls nice. I think we're give or take a quarter of an inch.
The body fits. The body fits, and the mounts and stuff like that are welded up on the front of it are all very symmetrical with the other side. So I have hope that it's very, very close. Maybe it's spot on, maybe it's within an eighth. Either way, I think that like you can fudge that a little bit in the suspension components just to correct that. I'm not that worried about it. And honestly, bud, like when I've seen some of the rat rods that run down 70 miles an hour down the road, and you just know that thing is like stick welded shit box, like
they JB
cobbled
welded
together. Like, yeah, it just gives
Yeah.
me a lot of hope that it's like, okay, we're pretty anal about putting these things together. It's
We spent an
probably
entire fucking weekend measuring.
just measuring.
We had like 16 hours into measuring. We didn't even lay
That's
a
true.
weld. We just fucking measured for
That's
like
a good
2
point.
full days.
And that's the beauty of it. It's like most people hear that and they go like, that's fucked. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Then don't do it. No.
And exactly. Well, no, that's it. That's actually it. You have a solid point of like, if you're not willing to commit to that level of trying to make sure it's perfect, you probably shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
big work. Like,
yeah. Then what you want is either a Honda Civic or a Camaro. You want something you can bolt a bunch of shit on that
yeah.
takes a couple hours and you're done.
Yeah, and that's great. You're a car
Yeah,
enthusiast.
I'm not shit
like,
talking that at all.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad you're here. If you're a car
Yeah.
enthusiast, you're just bolting things on. It's important that you're a part of it because this is strength in numbers. The car culture is more under fire than it's ever been. But
yeah. Oh yeah.
But,
not
like,
wrong.
as far as like doing big builds, stay away from it. Don't go buy a Model A fucking coupe or something like that because
a prime,
you're gonna fuck it up.
A prime example. I am 30. I'll be 31 this year. This is my first ever motor swap. Ever. I've never done a motor swap before in a car.
That's true. You haven't. You've always modified the motor that's in it.
I primarily focused on suspension stuff. Other than my Saab that I boosted. This is my first.
Oh, yeah,
this is
that's
my
true.
first proper quote unquote build.
Yeah, this is a big fucking build too.
And it comes down to is playing with cars for 14 years, and having good support, good friends willing to help you out, and all that, and doing a fuck ton of research.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And I feel actually the research is almost the easier part nowadays because there's Facebook groups out there. Social media makes it so much easier.
It helps a ton. Yeah.
But yeah, just know your limits and just be aware that nothing is as easy as it is. I remember when we first started the BMW, I remember saying like, "Oh yeah, this will take like 3 months."
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
No, it never
And
does.
it's-
And I've been there. I've been in that same kind of like,
Well, even the shoebox, we thought we could knock it out in almost a winter. Like
yeah,
get
we
back
thought
on-
we could do it in a winter.
back on the road in 4 or 5 months.
The funny thing is, it would have been if the flathead went in.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't that suck? It's like if the flatty went back into this thing, it'd be
or
done.
or if you just decide right off the bat that like we're gonna swap it and do an LS.
Yeah.
One or the other. If one or the other would have happened, but there was like a 2-month limbo period where we were trying to get the flatty to work. You weren't quite sold on the LS yet, and
That's true. It
just
did
slowed
cost
it-
a lot of time.
it just slowed everything
Oh
down.
yeah, and then the fucking the Ford motor. We lost what is it, 2 months to that fucking Ford
Yeah.
motor,
That's
trying to
trying
make
to
it fit and like getting it ready and like
So you figure 3 to 4 months between figuring out what's gonna be the power plant for this thing.
yeah,
It's just
it was terrible.
cars are dumb.
Yeah, they are fucking
Moral
dumb.
of the story: cars are dumb.
And that's the thing is like you have to have that kind of a spirit. You have to be willing to push past the frustrations, even if it's like frustration after frustration, taking twice as long as you expected it to.
that drain tube for the turbo, about yay long, 7 inches.
The drain tube was 7 inches long.
That's how long that rubber hose had to be, was 7 inches.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what fought me for about 45 minutes tonight. Was just 7 inches.
Yeah, you have to have such patience.
Who knew that 7 inches could give so much headache? You know,
I'm sure our wives do.
but
That's just bonkers
it's just
to me.
cars. It's just how shit goes.
Yeah,
It's,
well, and like the Ford didn't just like fire straight up and just like run perfectly tonight either. So it's like there's a heap more of getting things in order.
and I do think that once we again hook up all the coolant system and get the O2 sensor all squared
Yeah.
away and all that kind of stuff, it will. But there's no guarantee that we do all those little things and it just runs perfectly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it still could be garbage.
Yeah.
And
Could
you're
be-
hunting for the next thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Diagnostics are it's a ridiculous process. But that's just cars in general. And like the point that I was getting at is just like if you're gonna sign on for like a big task, if it crosses your mind that you're gonna do a motor swap and a chassis that didn't intend to have this motor in the first fucking place. Or if you're doing something big, like you're modifying the body, you're doing a wide body kit, you're chopping chopping the body or whatever, like take a step back and go like, do I have the skill set for this, and do I have the patience for this?
Yes, and the income would be
Oh my God,
last
I
thing.
know. It's just
So,
like the costs are double the costs.
I've been asked how much money I have into the BMW now. With the purchase of the car, I'm probably just south of 10.
Oh yeah, that's actually not bad.
That's not bad. That's including all the suspension and stuff like that. Because I was talking to my buddy Ryan, and you guys, if you don't know who Ryan is, watch the E30 series that's been coming out. He's the butler.
Yeah, he is.
Super cool dude. But he asked me actually today at work. He's like, "What's the price on the BMW? Like, what would be the like? I would sell it for this amount of money, 15 grand. If somebody gave me 15 grand cash, I would probably sell it because at that point I can
15 G's, yeah.
I would make a little bit of money and I could rebuild what I already have
Right.
easily.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I could see that. Well, and just like looking at the prices of E30s too, where it's like most of the body's pretty solid. There's just like a couple little spots that need a patch panel, but it's not bad.
It's nothing
at all.
crazy. It's not rotted by any means.
No, there's no real rot.
Yeah.
No like significant rot where you got like that thing had some nasty fucking patches in it.
It's got a small hole in one of the rockers and then the one wheel well.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. So it's nothing terrible. Yeah, I could see it kind of upwards in that area for sure. I mean, considering like the unique swap and stuff like that. I don't even know if I could put a price on that thing. Like once it's running and driving, I don't know. It was with the flatty, it was valued at 10. I want to say like when all is said and done, maybe 15, probably somewhere in that area.
That's what it's
16.
valued at, but I have a feeling you're like, for me, my I would sell it price is higher than what I would value the car at.
Right.
Like, I'd value my car at like 12-ish, 10 to 12, give or take.
You'd try and sell it around 15.
But if somebody came up to me at Powercruise and said, I got 15 grand on me, would you sell it? I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, no shit. All right, cool.
Yep.
We're going to start this journey over again.
Yep. And we'll go buy a 2002.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know that I can put a price tag on that thing yet. I need to have it running and driving, and I need to like have some fun with it, and then I can probably put a value on it.
And that's just it. Is once I start driving my car, that price goes up.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to be like, this is so fucking fun.
Yeah, like,
this is how they should have built these cars.
Grand.
Yeah.
We're gonna double this.
Well, you have to assume the so the E30 M3, was that a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder?
Oh god, I think that got the 4.
Wasn't that a like high compression 4-cylinder?
I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest.
I want to say that it was. I want to say that it was like a 200 and some horsepower, like high compression 16 valve 4-cylinder.
That sounds
Because I think it had
right.
independent throttle bodies too. It was like really ahead of its time.
It was something crazy. I don't know if it had the 6 or the 4.
So to put into perspective, your SR swap is going to yield similar power figures as that, but it's going to have the turbo spike in torque.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to make more torque than the what is the numbers in that motor? The E30 M3 is like a I can't think of it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, some 16 valve 4-cylinder. It's going to fucking rip. That's going to be such a fun car to drive, dude.
Yeah, I'm not selling it. Like I said, somebody would have to offer me something dumb where I'd be too stupid not to take it.
Right.
Oh, I got $20,000. Okay, I guess you're going home with the car today. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, again, it's like I need to form a relationship with that thing before I can place a price on it. As of right now, yeah, it's like 10, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got quite a few bucks into this last 2 years of building it. So I paid $6 for it. And that was with a fucking old flatty and the worn out front end that almost made it home. Yeah. Like, I guess, yeah, it's like I feel like up to this point, like I brought it home and it was immediately worth about $10,000. That's what it was appraised at. But yeah, it's like after all of the mods, I don't know. It's like I've seen what $20,000 ones look like, and they're pretty goddamn beautiful. Like we're talking chop tops and stuff you can get for 20. So I feel like 15 is probably closer.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I don't plan on selling it, but then again, everything's.
I really don't want to. Yeah, and I'm not a seller. Like I don't.
No, I have no desire to sell the BMW by any means, but there's always that price where I'd be too stupid. Like it'd just be dumb for me to say no.
Yeah, that's true. And I doubt either of us will get off.
Yeah,
Wow, this beer's making me hiccup.
Well, then maybe we should probably call it a night.
Yeah. What do we got here? Yeah, hour and 20 into this thing. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You got to work at the ass crack of dawn. I got to go and binge.
I mean, I do feel a little bit of a cough coming on. So.
A cough? Well, you got the Rona?
I'm vaccinated. I just don't want to go to work tomorrow.
You got the, yeah. Got to finish the project, homie.
Yeah,
I am probably going to be in the garage a lot tomorrow.
I'm out of disposable vacation time right now, though.
So you'd have to just like lose the wages.
And because my job is fantastic, we get there's a point system they use
You
for
have to
attendance.
take points for it?
Yeah, so I would get dock points and shit like that. It'd be
sucks.
dumb. Otherwise, I probably would. I really don't want to go in, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah, calling a bomb threat. I'm not serious. If there's a bomb threat tomorrow, it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't me. You know, it was definitely Justin Flores. He lives over in Superior, Wisconsin. That's who did it.
His address is 321 Banks Avenue. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys very much for joining us for another episode of Brews with the Dudes podcast. We had some highs and some lows tonight.
We're definitely talking about farts.
We had some laughs. I said vagina a couple of times. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. So we'll be back hopefully next week. We've had a couple of intermittent kind of weeks off, but I think we should be back into the swing of things.
Should be.
And we might have to do something for Powercruise.
Yeah, I do.
Might have to try and do a live. That might be fun.
I like that idea.
That might be fun, man.
Yeah, it all depends on how intoxicated we are as well.
Well, I mean, all the more reason to do it if we're intoxicated.
It would just be an hour and a half of us just sitting there mumbling and nobody understanding a single
and people
fucking
walking
word.
by and screaming at us. Oh, dude. Okay, a little tangent before we close up shop here. So we got one of the best camping sites in the entire of BIR. Maybe
Easily.
the best spot. I've been given some shit about that because they're just like, God damn you got this killer spot. And like, we've got a bunch of people that are gonna be coming up, apparently.
You know what? Just offer them some gum, okay? All right, just
some gum?
Yeah, some fuck them.
Some fuck 'em? Jesus.
Fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Yep, fuck them.
Okay, well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are 2 weeks out from Powercruise.
Yep.
You're going to have this video coming out next Monday, which, when you watch this, it won't be next Monday. It will be the Monday that you're watching this. So I don't know why I said that even.
Because you've been drinking all night?
Because I've been drinking beers. So, stay tuned. Like, watch the socials if you guys are trying to keep up on the builds. Big win for the shoebox tonight. Not necessarily a setback, more of a just like maybe there's something fucky going on to figure out.
Progress, but not as much progress as I was hoping for. Man,
Yes, there's words in there somewhere.
Awful. Yeah,
that's perfect.
I didn't make it as far as I wanted to make it.
Yeah, man. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep posting updates about it. The videos will come out very soon. I've been working my ass off. Let's just say the electrical video for that thing is an hour so far.
God damn.
It is an hour long. That is the longest video that we have ever done besides podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Easily.
I'm going to try and like cut a little bit of it out of it, but it's honestly just like it's just details.
Jesus.
Yeah. So and there's a few things that I've learned about like how to make sort of like clickable chapters where it's like if you ever watch a video and at the bottom of it it'll have like sections that say
you
what
can
it
be like
is.
how to wire the battery. Click and then it goes right to that.
So I'm going to do
10-minute
that
segment.
because I know that like having an hour long video is insane as far as like educational. You just like what are you supposed to like fucking skim through that?
The wife and I watch all of our episodes. We probably won't watch an hour. An hour will not hold her attention.
Well, it's all informational.
Yeah.
It's like
she
how
likes the
we
ones where we go
wired.
do dumb shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's the entertaining shit. It's like it's super detailed of like how we wired every circuit in this thing. It's crazy, and it's going to be super helpful for anybody who's trying to update an old car to 12 volts using a speedway harness, or even just like any generic 12 circuit, 24 circuit, whatever it is. So it's going to be really helpful. I'm going to organize it as best as I possibly can. I'm like fucking a month into editing this thing because it's so long. It's been ridiculous. Once that's out, the videos should start coming out a lot faster because then it's much simpler task by task kind of stuff. So you'll see a video from Dad Mods here pretty quick. It's going to be the wiring one, and then immediately afterwards it'll be one of the E30 videos.
We have a ton of content.
It's
just
shitload.
We're building shit.
Yeah, we're trying to get this stuff out.
Do you want us to build stuff or do you want videos?
So yeah, but on the socials, you'll continue seeing photos and the updates, and then obviously we'll keep talking about them in the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. We will see you guys next week on Brews with the Dudes podcast,
where we discuss Doritos.
Doritos. So a dobro is like it's like an old school acoustic guitar that's got like a big steel body. Like the body's wood, but like it's got this steel chamber in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it echoes. It's super loud. It's like it's almost like an amplified acoustic guitar. They're super cool.
That's pretty badass.
So when you said Dobrito, do you say Dobrito?
You said Dobrito.
I said Dobritos. I got an image in my head of a Dorito triangle with a big steel body in the center of it.
Just covered in like chip dust.
Yes. Every time you strum it, a little bit of chip dust kind of like floats out of the.
If you lick it, it tastes like Cool Ranch.
Precisely.
All right,
precisely. Cool. Yep. Oh, it's a Doritos 3D. That's what it is.
Okay.
You need to bring those fucking things back. Fucking anyway. I'm sorry. You guys are still watching. I am genuinely sorry. Okay. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.